Hey everybody, this is Jen. Welcome to my channel. Today we are doing part 3 of our seed saving series. Today we're going to be talking about how to save your flower seeds. That's right here on Garden Jen's Journey. Okay, so today we're going to be specifically talking about flower seeds and how to save the various seeds for your flowers. If you have not watched part 1, which is the basics of seed saving, I will put a link above, and I highly recommend that you go back and you watch that video first so you can make sure that you have the items that you need to get going for seed saving. I'm standing right now in my flower bed, my rose bed that has some other flowers in with it. And I'm going to show you these ones, and we're going to go along to some other spots in the garden where I have some other flowers and show you how to save those precious flower seeds. Alright, so these are my straw flowers here. And as you can see, I have some of these flower heads with bags on them. These are the organza bags that I talked about in the first part of the series. I highly recommend using organza bags for seed saving. They really work great on saving all sizes of seeds. And when you use the larger bags like these ones, you can get quite a few flower heads in them at one time, and it really makes your seed collection efforts a lot smoother. We got a sleepy little bumblebee on my zinnia here. So this is my purple coneflower, Echinacea, for some of you guys who like the Latin names. And these flower spikes are very unique. One thing to know about the purple coneflower that I learned as I started seed saving, the spikes are not your seeds. They are what protects the plant from being eaten, but the seeds are down, way down in between the spikes here. And so when you go to start cleaning your seeds for storage, or if you're going to share them, I will show you how to do that in a later video. But the spiky parts are not your seeds. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to cover these guys before they start drying out way too much, because the seed heads start falling, or the seeds start falling out of the seed head, and then you won't have any seeds to save. And that's where the organza bags come in. I have one right here. And this is the larger size organza bag, and I will have a link below where I purchased these. I get these from eBay. So what I do, especially with the larger ones, is I can take quite a few of these seed heads here and put them in the bag. Just like so. Go with this one down here. And then we'll pull it tight and just tie it loosely, like so. So there we go. We've got about 6 seed heads stuffed in this bag. And so as it dries out, if we don't get to it right away, the seeds will be safely collected in the organza bags. And then what you can do with this, once it's dried out more, is you can cut this right off the vine and then hang this up in a cool dry area that gets good air circulation, and let these cure for about a month or two, and then go ahead and start separating the seeds from the chaff. And again, I'll show you how to do that in another video. Okay, so an important thing to note about your flower seeds, if you did not know already, and a lot of people who are new to gardening or seed saving don't know this, is there's two ways that flowers form seeds. One way is that the flowers bloom and are pollinated and go through their beautiful life of being a beautiful flower, and then those flower petals fall off, and then the seed head forms underneath what used to be the flower. That's the first one. The second one is where the bees pollinate those flowers, and the seeds start developing even as the flower is blooming. It's usually part of the center part of the flower, and eventually as the flower dies, the seed heads are maturing, and the whole thing will die and fall off together. So that's very important to know when it comes to seed collection, because you need to know your timing of when you need to bag your flower heads for seed collection. Once you get to know your different flowers and their life cycle and when they produce the seeds, it makes your seed collection a lot easier. Generally, for both of your seed collection, the easiest way to do it is to start putting bags over your flowers when you see that they start dying off, regardless of whether they start producing the seed heads then or whether those seed heads are maturing at the same time. It just helps you in case you guess wrong on which way the seeds are. That way you don't lose your seeds as your flowers start dying out and falling off the plant. Alright, so if you have a flower like hollyhocks here that have a very long stalk with multiple seed heads on it, it's kind of hard to bag the whole thing because it is such a large stalk. I will show you one that I've done in just a minute, but for this one, what we're going to do is you can really easily see the seed heads on here, and you can watch them and see when they mature because these seed heads are huge. And one of the things that I highly recommend is to mark your flowers. You can see this one's marked here. This is my single light pink hollyhock. I have 5 different varieties of hollyhock here, so I marked them to make sure I knew which one was which. But for these ones, the best thing to do, because the stalk is so huge, is watch when the seed heads start to really mature and dry out. You'll notice some of them start opening and dropping, and so you just start collecting the rest of them and put them in your bag. My chickens are noisy this morning. Alright, so you kind of get the idea is you just pull those seed heads off there and put it in your baggie. Like so. And I always put a label on my bags, and I'll show you that a little bit later. But I always put a label on my bags so I know what they are, especially if you're saving multiple varieties of your seeds. You want to know what it is that this is. So this is going to be labeled the single pink hollyhock. And then I will just hang this up in the area where I store my seeds so it can dry out completely. And then I will separate the seed from the chaff. Alright, so here is a plant that has very tiny flowers and also very tiny seed heads. And so I'm going to take one of my bags here, and I'm going to put it around the whole clump of these flowers, just stuff them in here. And again, try not to break the stems because this is not done growing yet. These seed pods are not done maturing. And so you need to make sure that you don't break these things as you stuff them in here. And again, you do this after the flower is done. That way the bees have been able to do their job. All right, there we go. Look at how full I got that thing. You can probably stick a few more in here. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, so this is one of these longer stem plants, and you can only bag so much, but I bag as much as I can. This is a mullein plant, and I've cut it down part way, and so it shot off a lot of these side shoots for the seed heads because it wants to reproduce. So since I cut off the main flower head, it shot off more. So we're gonna go ahead and bag this, and usually when the plant is still green, when it's not completely dried out, you can manipulate this a little bit and you can bend it. Like this one is bent quite a bit, but as it dries out, you're not able to bend it as much. We're just gonna take this here, get one back here, and again, we're just gonna stick that on there and tie it closed here. There we go. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so that's how you save most of your flower seeds. There are some flowers that are a little more finicky that grow from seed, like a sunflower. And with the sunflower, if you did not know, a sunflower is not a singular flower, but it is hundreds of flowers. In the center, these were all miniature flowers. And you'll notice that the bees, they don't just pollinate like around the outside where the big petals are, but they're working all on the inside here. If I can find a video of my little bees working, I will insert that in this video. You can see the bumblebee here pollinating those tiny, tiny flowers. See if I can get in here without disturbing them. But you can see all those tiny, tiny flowers that make up a whole sunflower. But to know when flower heads are ready is when the inner flowers start to die, and you can start brushing them off the flower head. This one wasn't quite ready. But I'll get this done really quick. So if you can brush the flower heads off the seeds, then these seeds have pretty much matured, and it's okay to go ahead and harvest the head to save it for later use. Now, many people will hang their sunflowers up in a barn or someplace like that. You know, they cut the stem so it's long enough so you can hang it. Here where I live, it's not a good idea because the flower head itself, this is very moist because it's so thick. Instead of drying out, it rots, and then you lose all your seeds to mildew and rot. So what I do instead is I'll go ahead and I'll just break the flower head open. Let's see if I can get it open. There we go. I'll just break it open like this, and then I will just take out the seeds like so, and I will put them in my baggie, and then I will hang it up. And that's how I save the seeds for these guys. So let me grab my baggie out of my pocket. So we just take our seed head here, just break it apart, get those seeds out of the plant material. And then put it in our bag. Then take our bag and hang it up and let the seeds cure for at least a month, 2 months or so. And then you're going to go ahead and separate the seed from the chaff. Alright, so there you go. I hope I was able to demonstrate how easy it is to save almost all your flower seeds. Now your flowers that generally produce from rhizomes and tubers and things like that, they're a little more tricky because they grow usually from the bottom up as far as their tubers and rhizomes and stuff. If you can get some seeds from them, those usually take a little bit longer to get started again if you can get seeds from them. But any other flower that produces seed, this is how you save them. I hope you found this video informative and to be able to encourage you to get out there and save some of those flower seeds. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Share it with your other gardening friends who might want to start saving their seeds. I thank you for being with me along on this journey today. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you along. So until next time, everybody, I hope that wherever you are, you're wonderfully blessed. Take care. Bye-bye.